The integration of AI and sustainable solutions is rapidly emerging as the backbone of India's urban power ecosystem. Advanced AI algorithms are enabling high accuracy predictive and analytics that significantly reduce transmission losses and help prevent grid instability. Market projections reinforce this momentum. India's smart grid market is expected to grow substantially, potentially reaching $19.33 billion by 2033 at a CAGR of 26.11%, according to a report. Driven largely by the large-scale deployment of smart meters under the RDSS scheme. Beyond the grid, this synergy extends to energy-efficient, smart buildings and advanced energy management systems, strengthening India's position as a global hub for urban power innovations. In this evolving landscape, smart cables also play a crucial role in enhancing network reliability and supporting future-ready infrastructure. To explore this dynamic sector, EPR Magazine is hosting a live power talk on integrating AI and sustainable solutions for urban power. The event aims to inspire innovation and delve into the emerging opportunities and challenges shaping the future of urban power in India. So the panelists for today's session are Mr. Ashutosh Sinha, who is Director of CEO's Office at Kimball, Ms. 𝗵𝗳𝗃𝗶, Assistant Vice President from EY India. Mr. Jayant Sinha is a Senior Principal Consultant Energy and Utilities from Entrust Power, and Ujjwal Mondal is Assistant Manager from REC Limited. I just want to understand from the consumer point of view. Now, smart metering is a wonderful scheme which the government has, and it's going to wind up. Let's see what next is to come. But from the consumer point of view, also keeping in view, the corporate side, if we can speak, the companies which are involved in installation and all sort of things. Is it benefiting, a very interesting question, is it benefiting the consumers or the corporate?
Yeah. So, corporate, you mean to say that who are the implementation agencies?
Yeah. Who are the implementing agencies? Who are the product manufacturers? Who
The
are
smart
the
metering.
smart metering? Who are the solution providers?
Hmm.
Keeping all the stakeholders one side and the consumer on the other side. Who is being benefited, or is it just mutual, what do you call, sharing, if I can say?
So, to be honest, I think, Sohail, the consumers are more in the beneficial side, rather than the MISP solution providers, because they are the ones who is taking the pain of investing throughout the whole smart metering program from the starting. And then they, as per the milestone, they're getting the payment from the discoms on per meter basis, right? So, because they are going through so much pain, I think the consumers is on the beneficial side. Now, some of the, which I also covered in my slide, some of the beneficial that the consumers are having are the real-time energy insights, right? That how much their energy consumption is there in real time, what are the applications that are using. They can change their habits, like not switching on their ACs when it is not needed, so they can reduce their bill as per their own habits. So this is one of the main thing that the consumers can benefit, that they can see their energy usage insights. Now, the second is the smart tariff. It is already not used in India, but some of the global utilities have also started using the time of use tariffs, which is enabled by smart meters, to stop using during the peak hours and start using more in the lean hours of their day, to better manage their load and lower bills and PF, everything, the is there, so they can manage their bills accordingly. And of course, the fair and transparent billing is there. They can always get their, it is prepaid billing. So once they recharge, they get the usage of the meters. So I think though there are a lot of consumer awareness that has been done by the utilities as well as the MISPs, the solution providers and the implementation agencies. So these are the benefits that the consumers are getting from the smart metering.
Okay, putting this ahead to Mr. Ashutosh from Kimball. So, what would your take on this?
That's a very, very interesting question, Sohail. And this is a question in the mind of most of the consumers, a lot of consumers, if not most, but a lot of the consumers and hence the reason for some of the resistance that we face a lot of times during the implementation programs. But this is a question which all the stakeholders need to address collectively. And how I would look at it, it's a multi-stakeholder ecosystem, right? So you have consumers on one side, you have discoms on the one side, who are a lot of those discoms are going through financial distress or have been in the financial distress in the long term, for a long time. And then there are service providers. It's a PPP model end of the day. And then there are service providers, implementation agencies, and the product companies and solution companies which are coming in the ecosystem. Now, in a PPP model, of course, it's a overall welfare state. So any program which is designed for the larger ecosystem, for the society at large, has to keep the consumer at the core. And that is where I think I would align with Pritha in terms of saying that the program has to be with the consumer at the core. And there are there are multiple benefits that the consumers would probably not be aware of today, but will be reaping out of this program. And I think Pritha rightly pointed out all of them. But for the stakeholders, there are benefits for the utilities, right? So if the discoms start to have, start to reduce the AT&C losses or the gap in terms of their prices and the cost of supply, that would in turn be, that could in turn again be channelized for the society at large. So the industrialization needs or the energy needs of the society, of the growth that we look at, could then be fueled by that. It's basically another energy efficiency program. So that could be fueled by that. And for the private players, of course, it's an investment, right? End of the day, of course, we are driven by that, the larger agenda of the society at large, the society welfare. But end of the day, it's a competitive space. It's a well competed space, and there is there has to be returns on the investment. And I think as the sector is maturing, as the program is maturing, people will start to the competitive players or the players who have that competitive advantage will keep to support this program, and of course make the right amount of, not obscene amount of profit, but the right amount of profit from this. And I think profit as a motive for the private companies should not be taken away from them. So yeah, that's my take on this. It's a multi-stakeholder program, and all the stakeholders will have to take out what they intend to take out from them, and the society at large benefits from that.
Yeah, thank you for this response. A better understanding for the delegates who are watching this, actually. Mr. Jayant, would you like to add something on this, or we'll shift to some other points?
Definitely, I would like to add something on this. So you talked about two things. This is a multi-stakeholder ecosystem where any success of the project is measured in terms of a win-win situation, where not only the consumers but also the service provider is also benefited, right? Because this is there are more competition, so the competition is expected also to have a better quality given to the consumers. So one very important thing that has really come in the wake of the smart metering is that now we have got more platform to do the data analysis better. And surely among my clients, the industry clients have benefited because they are participating actively in the demand side management strategies, which are again proffered by the utilities, so that they can act on the data to curtail unnecessarily load, particularly taking advantage of the time of use tariff. So this is something which definitely the industries are benefited a lot. Regarding the consumers, actually, the consumers are very small portion, the comparatively in terms of you see, but no, there is a vast scale. So still the mass awareness is not there. I conduct a lot of these trainings and also road shows on behalf of the agencies to ensure that the consumers are also a willing participant in all these demand side management. So one way, because I use a smart meter and I have an app where I can monitor my energy consumption. So I'm more aware as to how the load curtailment can be done. However, definitely overall, if you see in a national perspective, whether how much is the common consumer participating, but if there is an industrial push in actually towards using the smart metering data to curb their emission, to also reduce their energy use during peak times, also better optimizing their energy. It is helping the nation in improving the sustainability. So we need some more push because I think from REC, Mr. Ujjal Mandal is there because we need to have some kind of a carbon credit transactions have to be strengthened so that we have as good carbon accounting as well as much as the energy audit, and definitely this can lead to reap more benefits of the smart metering. I know my clients have started using their own artificial intelligence models for tamper analytics, for also power quality management, for example, is one of the important areas. So they can take part actively, not only in reducing their bills, but also in supporting the grid stability.
Okay, so got your point. It's like the masses needs to be trained, or masses needs to be informed well. This is one point I couldn't understand. Mr. Ujjal, as Jayan sir was speaking about, you are
Yes.
from REC, about carbon traded thing. Can you please shed some light on this?
So carbon trading is like Minister of Power is directly monitoring the current situation of the carbon trading. So initially in 2023, I think the carbon trading scheme has been launched. So post the launch, like two ministries are mostly involved in these themes. One, Ministry of Power, who is on behalf of Ministry of Power. B is coordinating overall implementation of the schemes, and Ministry of 𝗵𝗲𝗱, they are the ministry who are issuing the like environmental guidelines portions of these schemes. So both the coordination of both these ministries are very much required. I think Ministry of Steel has made a very good progress regarding these schemes. They are the first ministry who has like green steel guidelines they have launched like in January this year. So this was a big initiative from them. And at the second part, like Ministry of Power has already identified the like schemes, guidelines, and steps. And regarding that, like accreditation agencies also they have issued the guidelines. So it is taking some time because of that interministerial coordination. Because if you see the core sectors, like 9 sectors are being covered under that carbon trading schemes. So once all the ministries are in place, like Ministry of Power is there, Ministry of Steel is there, Ministry of Heavy Industries is there, Ministry of Fertilizer is also there. So all the individual ministries has to put up some guidelines. So this year only Ministry of Power has issued a like energy efficiency measures, like going ahead with the PAT schemes, whatever guidelines was initially given, whatever standards have initially given, going ahead with the PAT scheme. So similar to that PAT scheme, some standards has been given. So now it's the time from individual ministries to implement that schemes. And once the coordination gets in the place, I think it will not take much more time to get into the schemes. And regarding the monetization part, Minister of Power has already put up a draft paper regarding that monetization part, how it can be monitored. And advanced discussions is with like all over the world, like European Union has been also looped in. so that the carbon can be traded internationally. So their guidelines are also being considered, so that like it can be uniform guidelines, just like a grid financing guidelines. So I think like 1-2 year ahead, the schemes will be onboarded totally.
Thank you for enlightening us actually. So shifting to the other point, if regarding the urban power, Mr. Sinha, so you have been, involved in the national programs and you have experience also with those. Relating to AI, if I say regulatory or implementation, is there any regulatory or implementation gaps just which the country needs to address to fully unlock the value of AI and sustainable solution regarding urban power? Mr. Sinha, Jayant Sinha, sir.
Okay. You're talking about the gaps between
Regulatory,
the regulatory
gaps and the implementation, regulatory gaps.
Okay, yeah. So there definitely there are some gaps also. Actually, this is one of the risks that we have to live in today's scenario. However, I must say that with the increased push by the Ministry of Power and through various capacity building programs, it seems that these gaps will gradually be narrowing over the period of time. And one of the things is that now the government has also come up with a white paper on the use of AI/ML in power distribution applications, and some of the things that they are very focused on how AI/ML can help in improving the energy efficiency on the one side. At the same time, how AI/ML can be used to adopt predictive maintenance. And you will be happy to know that some of the companies have already taken the lead. You have seen the league table in which you have seen Andhra Pradesh, for example, Central Power Distribution Company Limited, where they have started introducing these AI/ML practices for this thing. Now, regulators, they also have to follow by certain guidelines, and CA has already developed those guidelines about how these different functionalities can take help of digitalization, because that is one of the important aspects of the overall development. So yes, with the capacity building program that nationwide, which is being conducted by Central Board of Irrigation and Power and National Power Training Institute, of which I'm a part, and more closer interactions during various task force meetings, which is also being conducted on various areas of where technology enablement can improve the systems. So gradually we will be there, and it is not just about AI as a technology as such, but it is also about the implementation, because see, the thing is that it also comes at a cost, because you have to create that kind of an infrastructure. Then you have to identify the right applications where you have to introduce this AI/ML, not just for the technology's sake, but you also have to do some kind of a cost benefit analysis, and then accordingly adopt the right tools and technologies so that it can be used. So definitely these things over the period of time, now that after this RDSS program, various distribution companies are also having the right kind of IT infrastructure with many of these ERP applications as well as IT/OT applications. With the advent of a lot of these IoT technologies, hopefully in the coming days, more and more uses of AI/ML will be coming into a picture, and regulatory agencies are also taking note of it, so that all these gaps between the regulations and the implementations can be, because it is a system where everybody learns. The implementation agencies have certain learnings. You have seen in the presentation today by the panelists that what are the learnings of implementing these technologies, and then regulators are also learning from what are the best practices. So it is about how we can adopt, but it has to be done in a phased manner, not in a knee-jerk reaction, and with full understanding of the outcomes, and also taking cognizance of the fact that whatever is the budget available, so that we can get the best optimized value of the AI/ML systems.
Ms. Pritha, if we discuss on the point, if I say like urban power infrastructure of the country. Adding to it the key gaps which still remains in the urban power infrastructure. So what would you put up? Your points, your take.
Yeah. So I feel that in urban power infrastructure, the most important point that needs to be taken care is that when we talk about analytics and AI ML, the data governance and the data standardization is the most important point when we feel about urban power infrastructure, because all the data that are coming from the IT or OT equipments in urban power, that has to be analyzed, and they have to be standardized to make a meaningful insight out of it. So if all the discoms can take a note on the fact that there is a need of reliable data or a quality data that has to be that we get from all the IT OT environment, from all the equipments, power equipments. I think that would be very much essential for taking the next step in urban power.
Mr. Ashutosh, sir, if I say, can there be a chance? I believe there can be a chance of data breach. Data has been talked. Urban power system mostly. Rural system is not so involved, but urban power system is mostly involved. So if I say there is a data breach, how would you counter it?
Data breach with regards to the IoT systems being installed and then, of course, being transmitted and analysis being done on that, right? So the entire. Okay, so yeah, that's and I mean, see, I mean, end of the day, how most of the product manufacturers, most of the solution providers would comply by the regulatory guidelines which are there on the data security part. So and I think that's where the regulations will have to look in greater detail in terms of what we as private sector players, as product and solution players can of course provide inputs with regards to that, how the regulations can start to shape in, how do they look globally. Of course, in terms of India is also, I mean, in terms of data security and data privacy, that's an important factor. And we, as a product manufacturer, as a solution provider, we would be extremely ready and to whatever is required by the regulatory bodies, and as the regulation and the market demands, we are absolutely ready to comply by that, and of course even go above and beyond, and to if there aren't any, and we can prove that. So from that point of view, I think the regulations will have to take the lead on that, and then the market participants will have to comply to that in terms of data privacy or breach incidents, how they can minimize that. That's my take on this one.